Hey, what's up guys, I'm back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about possible trade destinations for Kawhi Leonard next season, as there have been tons of reports going around that Kawhi Leonard is actually not playing, not just because of his injury, because he doesn't really want to play with the Spurs, and like his future with the Spurs is kind of murky, no one really knows what's going to happen. There have been reports saying that he is staying and there's nothing wrong, then there's been reports that, he's leaving, he's not happy, and that he just really wants to leave, so really it's all over the place, and I'm going to be going over if those reports about him leaving are true. I'm going to be going over the possible trade destinations for him and where he could go. So yeah, so without further ado, without me rambling on too much, let's get right into this video. Alright, so before I get into anything, like any of my possible trade destinations and the two teams I think might trade for him, I'm going to be getting into like why he would even want to be wanting out and why the Spurs might have to trade him. Because like as of right now, y'all might be like, why would the Spurs ever think about trading Kawhi? Kawhi is a top 5 player in the NBA. He's pretty much the entire Spurs organization. Without them, they would be about a 7-6 seed, like as of they are right now. And they just, why would he want out? Why would they trade? Well, actually, in a very recent interview, and like besides the many reports that say that there has been disconnect between Kawhi Leonard's team and the Spurs team, and like that there's a disconnect between them, and that Kawhi is unhappy and frustrated with the organization. In a very, very recent podcast, in Corey Brewer's podcast, actually, Nate Robinson said during it, from what I heard, the reason why he doesn't want to play is that he doesn't want to play in San Antonio no more, because big money is coming, but if he doesn't leave, the money is not coming. So basically what Nate Robinson was saying was that if Kawhi Leonard, it's not that he just doesn't want to play, it's the fact that he can't be in San Antonio, because obviously he's been in big talks with the Jordan shoe brand and been trying to get his own shoe, but so what he's saying is that the Jordan brand wants him in a bigger, more marketable market, so he's easier to sell than San Antonio, and that if he stays in San Antonio, they won't sign him because that's just not a big enough market for them to be able to market him around. That's what Nate Robertson said, and he said that he heard it from a little birdie, meaning he heard it from somebody probably pretty close to Kawhi, or at least that knows what he's talking about around the league. So now that I got out of the reason why he even might want out and why they would want to trade and all that, let's get into the two possible landing destinations that I think that he could potentially be going to. My first team is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers, and the reason I picked the Lakers for this is because since he needs to move to a bigger market, according to the Jordan brand, according to Nate Robertson, there is literally no bigger market than the Los Angeles Lakers. If you want to be able to get sold and everything, go to the Lakers. They're probably one of the biggest markets in the entire NBA, and also to go along with that huge Jordan brand contract he would probably be getting, he would also be able to get a enormous contract from the Los Angeles Lakers once his contract is up, because obviously his contract's not up until 2020, so they're going to have to trade for him. But once his contract is up, if he wants to stay in the Lakers, they will have more than enough money to offer him a supermax contract, and trust me, if he wants money, he is going to take that contract right away, because he will be able to stay in the big market while being paid a ton from both contracts, and that would be a huge deal for him. And this salary room is just so much, they might be able to offer him more than any NBA player is getting paid right now. But obviously, like I said, his contract is not up till 2020, so they're going to have to trade for him. But since the Lakers are so young and have so much young talent on their team, I don't think it would be impossible for him to trade for him. I think they will definitely be able to trade for him, as probably they'll only have to throw in someone like Kyle Kuzma, KCP, and maybe 2 first-round picks for Kawhi Leonard. And that is almost going to be worth it, because just look at the starting lineup they would have if they were able to do that trade. That would leave them with Lonzo Ball at point guard, who right now is playing pretty good, just a all-around pass first, good teammate point guard, getting rebounds and assisting really well. And if he can learn how to score better, he has potential to be an all-around star point guard. You never know. And then at shooting guard, they would have possibly, you could move Brandon Ingram, because we did see that Brandon Ingram could play point guard, so maybe he can play shooting guard. They kind of have to test the waters with that. But then at small forward, you have Kawhi Leonard, literally one of the best players in the league, definitely one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the entire NBA. Then at power forward, the breakout star this year, Julius Randle. That dude's been playing out of his mind as of lately, and this year he's been having by far his best year of his entire career. So they'd have that at power forward, and then maybe Brook Lopez at center. They would have to find out who to put at center. That's going to be a little shoddy situation. If they were able to get Kawhi, they might even trade Brook Lopez in the trade to get Kawhi. You never really know. But they would have a very, very good core and a very young core to play around Kawhi Leonard. And I mean, it's not like Kawhi Leonard is going to be going to a terrible team. The Lakers, they didn't make the playoffs this year, but it's just because of how young they are. When Kuzma, Alonzo, Julius Randle, and Brandon Ingram, probably once they develop, by next year, they will be a playoff team again. And then you add Kawhi, they're now finals contenders, especially once that young talent really starts to develop around someone as good as Kawhi. You never know how good that team can be, and I do think they could be finals contenders potentially. And I mean, that's all the reason I think for the Lakers. But now my second and final team is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks. And now y'all might be like, why would you pick the Milwaukee Bucks? They're not even that big of a market. But just look, alright, Milwaukee Bucks are an up-and-coming franchise with Giannis. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. Giannis something. I'm just going to call him Giannis from here on out. They have Giannis, who is probably, people were talking about him being MVP candidate in the beginning of the year. And I mean, eventually he's going to be a top 2 player in the NBA. That's just undeniable. The dude is a special talent, once-in-a-generation talent. And any team with him on it is going to be a huge market. And I mean, eventually that's going to blow up. Then if you add Kawhi to that, now you have one of the best big twos in the league, and eventually Milwaukee is going to become a very, very big market. And I mean, that'd be definitely probably the best big two in the league, unless you count Curry and Durant, then maybe not, but it'll be threatening that right there. And then you just look at the supporting cast it would have with Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon. That would be a great team. That's young. They're all young. Kawhi Leonard's a beast to be getting compared with Giannis. That would just be a great market, and I think the market would end up exploding. But even though they would have to trade for him, I think they could very easily trade for Kawhi Leonard, probably easier than the Lakers could. Because look, right now Jabari Parker is in doubts that he will be re-signing with the Milwaukee Bucks, and there have been reports that just came out today about him being questionable to re-sign an extension with the Milwaukee Bucks. So pretty much what all the Milwaukee Bucks will have to do, since he is a restricted free agent this year, when a team offers him a max contract, then they will have to match that contract, bring Jabari Parker back, and pretty much make a sign and trade. They would trade Jabari Parker and possibly Malcolm Brogdon or Chris Middleton, one of the two, throw in about 2 picks, and then boom, you have Kawhi Leonard most likely. And I mean, just with the team that they would have, that's automatic contenders. Because look, they have Eric Bledsoe at point guard. At shooting guard, you could have Chris Middleton, depending who you really trade, and Chris Middleton. And then at small forward, you have Kawhi Leonard. Then power forward, you have Giannis, who's a beast. You have those two. That's huge. That's a huge forward combination. Then at center, you have John Henson, not too good. But then at power forward, you could have, I think, Malcolm Brogdon. Depending on who you trade, it's either Chris Middleton's gone or Malcolm Brogdon's gone. But, I mean, really all you got to do is think about that. And if they do trade Chris Middleton, Malcolm Brogdon, and then, 2 picks, and then someone else like John Henson, and they keep Jabari Parker, then Jabari Parker's at power forward. That would be just an automatically finals contender team if they're able to add Kawhi Leonard, pretty much no matter what happens, unless the Spurs completely take their entire team, which I don't think the Bucks would do. And the Bucks are, like I said earlier, an up-and-coming franchise, so that market will expand. They might be a small market now, but then they might become one of the bigger markets if this trade was able to go through. So, yeah, that's going to, unfortunately, that's going to be all I have for this video today. But I want to hear your thoughts below. Do you think Kawhi Leonard's going to leave the Spurs? Do you think he will request a trade? What do you think they would trade him for? Do you think he'll be going to either one of these 2 teams? Do you think he'll stay? I mean, I really want to know. What do you think his future is looking like? I want you to comment all that below. I really want to hear your thoughts in the comments. And also, if you have any video ideas you want to see from me, please comment those below too as well. I would be open to anyone's idea. And then also, if you did like the video at any point, hit the like button. If you really like the video and want to help me out a ton, hit the subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And also, I mean, if you hit the subscribe button, I would literally suck your dick. I mean, I would just love you forever. And obviously, I wouldn't be here without y'all, but also wouldn't be here without the real man OG, Jesus Christ upstairs. I'm blessed, you're blessed. I hope everyone has a blessed day. I hope I have a blessed day. I hope you have a blessed day. And I hope you go tell someone that they have a blessed day too. I mean, yeah, and kids, don't forget about you. Never do vegetables. Are they drugs? Stay safe, stay well. Goodbye. Boo.